Okay, we think we're missing one board member, Debbie, but she should be along any minute. We officially began our meeting a little bit ago, so we will now all recite the Pledge of Allegiance and officially begin the open meeting. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we have welcome to anyone tuning in. Welcome to the June 10th, 2020 school board meeting. This is I think our second or third or so public meeting virtually. Unfortunately, we have no special recognitions. This is kind of the time of the year that we would honor a lot of our students and even some staff and recognize those who've achieved special achievements with sports and scholastic abilities. And unfortunately, we're not able to do that virtually, but we are making efforts to recognize those students with certificates and letters and commendations. So we do appreciate all that they put into this past school year, and we look forward to the students that will return with us next year, and hopefully we'll be able to have in-person recognitions then. So right now I have several additions and or corrections and or modifications to tonight's agenda, and they are 6.01, addition of agenda item 10.43, approval of amendment to renew the agreement with Pepsi Beverages Company. 6.02, addition of agenda item 10.44, approval of telephone services SIP trunks letter of authorization. 6.03, contracts updated on agenda item 10.18, approval of pre-professional health sciences academy agreements with BJC Healthcare, St. Luke's, Rockwood, and SSD. And 6.04, addendum to agenda item 10.04, approval of personnel items. Tonight we have no one who signed up for citizen statements. Next is our approval of the agenda. So may I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda for the regular meeting of the Board of Education as scheduled for June 10th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 7-0. The next regular board meeting will take place on Wednesday, August 19th, 2020, beginning at 7 p.m. Next up is board liaison reports. Anybody have anything they would like to share since our last meeting a month or so ago?
I will.
Okay, Debbie.
The Special School District Governing Council met on June 1st by Zoom. We had, I think, all of our 22 participating districts in attendance. What we did, we approved the Comprehensive School Improvement Plan, the CSIP. We approved a budget for the upcoming school year, which is also experiencing challenges with the financial institute tax situation, as well as some of the cuts that are taking place with transportation and other matters that are occurring at the state level. And we also received an update on e-learning from Dr. Keenan. As with every other school district, the special school district is trying to ensure equitable access to all students during an e-learning time and COVID, and working through their plans for reentry as well. And then also, along with board colleagues Pam Hill and Jeff Todd, the Student Services Subcommittee, we are meeting to review policies under Section J of board policy, and we're getting through those as quickly as we can so that they can move forward to the full board for approval. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll go. One of the joys of being a board member is participating in attending various student and district activities. And obviously, the last 3 months, those opportunities have been few and far between. But I just want to express my support for, or I guess I'm looking forward to participating Sunday in the Walk for Black Lives. It was organized by one of our students, and like I said, there's not a lot of opportunities right now to participate in activities within the district, and this is one that I'm very much looking forward to, and I'm very proud of our students for taking the reins and organizing this event, and I look forward to participating along with whatever my colleagues on the board are also planning on attending.
Okay, thank you. Pam?
And I as well am looking forward to attending that. And I'm also looking forward to attending the North High Class of 2020 parade. And I also was able to attend the West High Class of 2020 parade. So those have been good opportunities to get out among students and parents, which is something that we as board members love to do. And it hasn't been happening as much lately. So it's gratifying that there are still things going on that we can get out there into our community and show what we believe is important.
Thanks, Pam. Anyone else have any comments? I have a couple of things I wanted to mention. First, I wanted to thank Amy Joyce and Phil Roguski. Amy's our Chief Human Resources Officer, and Phil has worked under her running HR for a number of years, and they're both retiring this month. And we had our last official meeting with Amy recently, and got to wish her well on her retirement. But hopefully Phil is doing the same, getting ready to enjoy retirement. We appreciate both of their many years of service to Parkway and the great place that they've helped um, make and keep Parkway. I also have been able to attend several of the end of the year parades for different students, different graduating students, and even some, there were a couple of parades for elementary schools. So I just want to thank the parents and the staff who've put those together. It's as Kevin mentioned, it's a crazy time, and we're working with what we've got to work with. So thank you to all those who have put those together. Also want to thank I think about 36 um, people who are serving on our return to school steering committee. Um, a lot of different stakeholders in Parkway, and working together to work with the guidelines that we have from the CDC and the St. Louis County Health Department to come up with what makes sense for us returning to school in August. And I know it's a lot of work. It's a lot of groundbreaking. We've never done a lot of this before, so I appreciate everybody's time and effort. The board certainly appreciates all that's going into that. Also want to just touch on kind of the narrative that's happening right now in our country. Dr. Marty had a wonderful message to our community a week ago, and I thought that was very timely and well received. The board appreciates that message going out. Earlier today, I got to spend a little bit of time on a webinar, a Zoom meeting that Terry Harris put together. He's with Rockwood School District, and had a guest speaker as he's going to do the next several weeks. And it was good conversation, good information, talking about systemic racism in our schools, in our community, and starting the conversation in a real sense of what we need to be doing, what we need to be talking about to make sure all of our students feel safe in school. One of the things that I thought I would share with the rest of the board and with anyone watching, and you can certainly, I'm not going to read the entire statement, but you can certainly find it out there. But yesterday, the Missouri School Board Association met, as they do each month, and they talk about a lot of different things. They're like a school board, but for the state, for the entire state. And the board president, Charlie Shields, read a statement at the beginning of that meeting. And like I said, I won't read everything, but he mentioned, he talked about 3 different things that the Missouri State Board of Education plans to do. And I thought the more I listened to them, the more I thought that they really kind of aligned with what our school board has been talking about, and what we're hearing from administrators, who are hearing from teachers and students. And so this is what President Shields stated. He said that in reaffirming their commitment, Missouri School Board's commitment to advancing educational equity, he made these statements. And number 1 is, every child in this state deserves a quality education and the opportunity to develop into contributing self-sufficient citizens. Number 2, in partnership with DESE and our legislature, we embrace the challenge to examine longstanding structures and policies that may now be hindering widespread educational equity in the preparing of a workforce-ready constituency. And number 3, we promise to look beyond our present approaches and explore new pathways and partnerships, mindsets and methodologies, and innovations and technology available to us to create the education system that all students and citizens in this great state deserve. And that those comments really spoke to me. He ended his statement with something that really has resonated with me, and that is, our society has reached a race relations tipping point, and we have been challenged to respond to the moment. History will judge us on what we do with this opportunity. And so I challenge my fellow board members, I challenge our school administrators, our teachers, and our students and their families to think before you speak, to listen to others, to, as Dr. Marty said, show love and compassion for everyone, even though you might not agree with them. But I promise, as board president, and I'm sure our board will agree, that we promise to do these things. We promise to think and act and work together to create an environment where all students feel safe and all students can learn equally. And that's what we plan to do. So that's all I've got for board liaison. Right? I don't know if Dr. Marty, if you want to add anything.
Well, it's hard to say much beyond that. That Mr. Todd did a great job, and I will tell you that thank you to you and the board for those words and for your support of our staff and our students, not only Sunday but beyond that. I believe you're right, and I think Mr. Shields is right. This is a tipping point, and I think we have a great opportunity in this time of frustration and anger and emotion, but we have a great opportunity to make some changes along what you talked about structurally, certainly in partnership, working together to make some meaningful changes. We can't change the world, but we can address the things that we know in Parkway need some work. We've done a lot of work in Parkway, but we recognize there's a lot more to do. So I accept your challenge. I think our other leaders and I think our staff and our community really thanks the board for the challenge, because I think absolutely we, and not only in Parkway, but in the bigger world, have some work to do. And here's an opportunity. And again, thank you for your support. And Jeff, thank you for those words. I will also just say that thank you for recognizing some people who are moving on and the work that we're doing in reentry. It's a busy summer, a busy time, and we really appreciate, again, you're recognizing people who have worked and people who are going to continue to work over the summer, getting ready for the school year. I was in a meeting today with Ed Plus superintendents. We agreed today that July 20th is going to be the day that we, as a region, officially announce our plans, even though obviously there's going to be communication with our community, but for our communities, but as a region, that's when we agreed that would be the date. So again, we're all coming kind of out together. So that will be shared. And we will use that as, of course, our timeline here in Parkway to meet that challenge with our reentry work. But we have a lot of commonalities with other districts, and we will continue to communicate because, again, there's going to be a lot of examination about what other districts are doing. So we're all trying to do our due diligence, but also be aware that we as a region have some responsibility to have some commonalities, obviously, because we do share students and we share families, and so we're trying our best to share those plans and work together as I'm very proud we have up to this point. So thank you, board. Thank you, Mr. Todd.
Thank you. Let's see, we have no board subcommittee reports. We have no upcoming subcommittee meetings as scheduled. Next is 10.0 action items. We have a long list, 44 consent items and the addendums that accompany those. So may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented in the June 10th, 2020 board materials.
So moved.
Second.
Is there anything to be pulled to action or closed? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0. Let's see, next up we have the 11.0 action item, which is the approval of the 2020-2021 budget. We have the availability to have Patty Bedborough, our CFO, join us if there are any questions. Okay.
Mr. Todd,
Yes.
I just want to say, Patty, of course, does a great job, and she presented the budget to you last month, and I suspect that you've got most of your questions answered, but just again, I just want to thank Patty and Brian and her department. This has been not only because of COVID, but some of the other challenges we had in the budget this year. Once again, Patty's leadership has been tremendous, and I also appreciate the cooperation of our administrators in putting that budget together. We're likely going to face challenges throughout the school year, and we're very fortunate to have Patty, who constantly is working with Desi and her peers and her association, of which she's a leader, in planning and in getting information early. So we're very fortunate in Parkway to have Patty, and I just want to thank her. It's no small task. If you read the document she put together, the budget document, and each year she does a wonderful job. And it's become really a year-long process to really put a budget together for a district this size and for all its components. So I just want to thank Patty, and I know the board appreciates her leadership as well.
Absolutely. And I think it was a couple pages shorter this year. So we're going in the right direction. All right. So if there's no other questions, may I have a motion and a second that the Board of Education approve the 2020-2021 expenditure budget as presented by the administration in the amount of $303,411,679, with $86,397,539 to be expended from the general fund, $156,605,187 from the special revenue fund, $38,271,953 from the capital projects fund, and $22,137,000 from the debt service fund.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please, Nikki.
Ms. Davis? Ms. Hill?
Yes.
Mrs. Hopper?
Yes.
Mr. Schindler?
Yes.
Dr. Ciartino?
Yes.
Mr. Seltzer?
How much did you say was from the debt service fund? I'm
The
just
debt service fund was $22,137,000.
Okay, good. Yes.
Mr. Todd?
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. We have no policy review tonight. Although several of us are working on some policy language cleanup, and we'll hear about that in the future. We have no additional reports, no work session, no special meeting. The next anticipated closed session will be held on August 19th, 2020. Details of the closed session will be posted within 24 hours of the anticipated meeting. We've already completed our closed session earlier tonight. So now may I have a motion and a second to adjourn the regular meeting?
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
So moved.
Motion carries 7-0. Thank you all for watching tonight, and we will see you online and hopefully in person soon.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Good night.